As someone who learns all day long, take my word for it. School district budgets are confusing. It's a web of complicated formulas and funding sources that become more complex as you learn more about it. But grasping some of the basics of how the Dysart School District receives and spends money can go a long way in understanding how your tax dollars work to meet the needs of children like me in our community. Dysart receives money from two main sources, the state of Arizona and the federal government. About 90% comes from the state and about 10% comes from the federal government. Federal money is designated for such things as special education services and to support learning needs of students living in poverty using Title I funds. The thing is, the money can only be used for those programs. The district can't use the federal money for anything else. In fact, as you will find out later on, pretty much every dollar the school district receives has strings attached. State money is broken down into two main pots, maintenance and operations, or M&O, and capital. Dysart receives and spends approximately 98% of its funds in the M&O pot and 2% for capital. Maintenance and operations are your day-to-day expenses, your operating expenses. These include salaries for employees, utilities like lights, transportation services, and general supplies. Capital expenses are durable items such as buildings, furniture, equipment, technology, textbooks, and buses. Remember those strings I talked about? Well, Arizona laws required the capital money only be used for capital purchases, and M&O money only be used for M&O. So we can't go buy one less bus to fund a teacher, and we can't cut a teacher's salary to buy a computer. Now, say the school district would like additional money to provide a better education for me and my friends. That goes above and beyond what the state and federal government provide. They can go out to their local community and ask for something called an override or a bond, which is a tax on property. Overrides and bonds are very different things and are not interchangeable. There is no such thing as an override bond or a bond override. A bond is designated for capital money, those buses, school buildings, and technology. A bond can only be used for those capital purposes. The last time Dysart voters approved a bond was 2006. The district can call for either a capital override and/or an M&O override. The Dysart School District asked voters to fund all-day kindergarten, quality arts and athletic programs, and lower class sizes in 2010 through an M&O override. The community said yes, and that money collected paid directly for those things. 5 years later, the voters decided not to renew that override. Therefore, that money goes away, along with those things it funded. These pots of money that Dysart receives don't look the same from year to year. In fact, they can look very different depending on how many students enroll in Dysart, whether or not voters approve an override, or whether or not the state or federal government decides to cut funding. They've been getting pretty small over the past few years. In fact, we spend nearly $700 less per student than we did 5 years ago. That may not sound like much, but multiply it by 26,000 students over the course of those 5 years, and those dollars add up. Despite these shrinking pots, Dysart continues to live within its budget, and it's been doing pretty well. In the past 5 years, Dysart was labeled as an A district by the Arizona Department of Education. It received Advanced Ed International Accreditation, a Technology Spotlight Award, is home to a National Elementary School Principal of the Year, and not one, but 2 Arizona Teachers of the Year. And most importantly, students are graduating career or college ready. But the more money that gets taken away from the students, the harder it gets to maintain quality programs and services. So, do you understand the school district budget any better now? If you're like me, the answer is both yes and no, and that's okay. It's difficult. To find out more information and dig deeper into the complexities of school district funding, visit dysart.org/budget or call us directly. We're here to help. It's your money, and we want you to understand how we use it to best meet the needs of all students.